Hello, Flosstube. It is Nicole, and welcome to Flosstube number 8. I'm here. We're going to talk about stitching and quilting this week. I had intended to clean up the disaster, and it just didn't happen, and I wanted to go ahead and get this filmed. This video is going to go up on July 3rd, 2022, and I hope everyone got some fun stitching or creating in this week. I did end up getting quite a bit of both. A little bit maybe more quilting, or it doesn't feel like it. It felt like I did a lot of work and I spent a lot of time without tons of results, but I did get some things done I needed to do. I did miss a couple of days stitching, or maybe just one day stitching this week, maybe two. It's been kind of a crazy busy week. I know I mentioned that in my Friday card making live. Let's see what happened this week. Not a lot. I guess Ethan came home from his vacation. Finally had my yard helper back, which was great. I didn't have to do it all myself. In fact, I'm not doing a ton. I'm kind of transitioning. I actually love doing yard work. I mean, like mowing. I like the mowing part. So I love doing it, but it needs to be his job. I have so many things to do, and so I love doing that. But I'm just kind of slowly transitioning to that, and it was so rewarding this week. For the very first time, he looked at his lines in the yard, because I like them to be straight, and he goes, "Oh, those are a little wavy." And it was just in one little area, and I was like, "That's okay, you'll learn." And then when he was done, he went to take the mower to the garage, and he kind of went diagonal through the yard, and he goes, "That looks terrible." And I said, "You're learning. You'll go around the edge of the yard so you don't leave a tire path right through the middle." So that was cute. We're going to do a family dinner Sunday night and celebrate 4th of July. So that's fun. Looking forward to doing all of that. I did finish up some Patriotic projects kind of last minute today. I finished the final one, which was a work in progress. So I'm excited to share that. As always, timestamps will be down below, so definitely check that out if you want to skip anything. And I can't say I will always do this, but I did this last week, and I want to share this week a comment from a viewer that I thought was really sweet and maybe inspirational and might be inspirational to you. I'm only going to share a portion of it because part of it was kind of answering questions and stuff for the giveaway. So from Judy, she said, "I am a huge fan of your card making videos. I've made cards and enjoyed the process, but I have found it always takes a while for my own creativity to kick in when I find time to sit down to do a card. That's why I'm so glad you decided to do Flosstube. If I had not seen your first Flosstube video, I would have never thought to pull out that old project started many years ago and start working on it again. Since I have such a lack of available time to craft right now, I think that's why I'm enjoying cross stitch once again. I can just sit down and start stitching without having to spend time coming up with a design, and there are so many great patterns to choose from." I thought that was such a wonderful comment. So thank you so much, Judy, for sharing that with everyone. So Q&A, I'm going to try to not spend tons of time on that today, but I do have a few things, not that many. Linda, is the season 2 hands-on design in the store for the complete set or per pattern? It is for the complete pattern, so all 12 months. And I will talk a little bit about that here in a minute. I just literally thought of something I forgot to say, but that's okay. We'll talk about it in a minute. Twiddler's Nook. Last week, my question about DMC Ada versus others was not worded well. That was probably my fault, not yours. She wants to know, does the stiffness mean I'm getting a cheap, lesser quality product? I can't say for sure, mostly because I have not bought any DMC Ada in 20 some years. It's been a long time. When I started back stitching, I'm trying to think, I did finish that Pledge of Allegiance pillow, and that was on Ada, but I had used it so long that the fabric was pretty soft by that point. I have only really, like Ada wise, I think I've only used like Fabric Flare and Witchlet. I hope I said that right. I think, as far as an Ada recently. So I would just try something. She said she was going to try the Witchlet. I said it. Yeah, never mind. She said she was going to try that. So I'm curious to see the comparison. Please let me know, so we can I can share it with everyone. She said, when you swap colors, I think this is from Twiddler's Nook. I'm sorry. I literally did most of these questions days ago, and it's the same thing as last week, and I don't know that I did a good job transferring the questions from YouTube to my little document. When you swap colors completely like the heartfelt stitch along, how do you keep track of where each color goes? Do you randomly decide each block, or do you make a new map for your colors and the symbols? I want to do that with a pattern, but I get overwhelmed when I try to organize it. I literally didn't organize it, not for this. Generally in the past, if I've switched out a color, it's only been 1 or 2 colors, and so that's very easy to do. In this case, I am not using any of the called for colors, and I'm winging it, completely winging it. Debbie, Julie Waring, and someone else, but I missed putting the name down. I did know, I forgot that. All said that Ada, there is a 20 count Ada available. They said it doesn't come in as many colors as 14 or 18, but it is still available. So I thought I would share that. Jean, what month does the Halloween sale usually start? It depends, but it is starting on Monday. So, right? Yes. No. Tuesday, the 5th. From Fat Quarter Shop. So they were waiting on fabric. There are delays in the world, and I know that they have mentioned that several times, that they we're waiting for fabric to come in because they want to start their quilt along and stitch along at the same time. So July 5th this year. Usually I think they try to do it in July. Brenda, let's see. I'm nervous about reading a pattern correctly. I think she said she wanted to do the stitch along. Any tips? I would say if you are a new-ish stitcher, or even, a experienced stitcher, I think color charts are so much easier to read than black and white. But I know a lot of companies still do black and white. In fact, the hands-on design I'm doing is in black and white. But I think if you're starting, pick a color chart. And maybe pick something small. Barbara, where can I find Halloween rules from Lizzie Kate? That is all at 123 Stitch, and I do have links in the description below. You can always find any information that I'm sharing in the video. I'm putting links down below. If I do forget, definitely drop me a comment, but I have links to the Lizzie Kate Halloween rules down in the description. Connie, my question is, how do you deal with large spaces in between a chart when the pattern has tiny images or very few stitches? Do you still just stitch left to right or jump around? So that's a hard one. I know that probably the very experienced stitchers are going to say you should run your thread underneath, trim it, and start again so you don't see the threads through your fabric. I'm going to tell you guys, I usually drag it if it's not too far. I am not going to drag like 10 stitches or something crazy like that. But if it's like 3-4 stitches, I'll drag my floss. Let's see. Deborah, what do you do with all the quilts and stitching projects you do? I keep them or give them as gifts. Susie, do you know if they make wedding she says ones, but I'm sure she means samplers, like the birth sampler I shared last week from Stony Creek, and yes, they do. She said her son is getting married this fall and she wants to make a first anniversary gift. I think that would be beautiful. Lisa, can you give some examples of quick, easy quilts for beginners? Also, would you recommend quilt kits or buying the supplies separately? I think if you're a beginner, a quilt kit from Fat Quarter Shop would be awesome. Or, yeah, I would, or from a quilt shop. I know there's some other places as well. I just know that they have some quilt kits that you could get, which would be pretty easy. And I know when I answered her question in the comments, I recommended that follow the Fat Quarter Shop beginner quilting tutorials on their YouTube channel, and I will leave a link to that down below because I do think it's very, very helpful. Nancy, I love the shine on cross stitch pattern. How big is that sampler? It's going to depend on the fabric you use. I know I answered that in the comments, and I of course completely forgot to write it down to mention that in case anybody else wants to know. So the finished size, oh, and the book is fantastic because it gives for 14, 25, and 28. I'm using 25 count Lugana. The finished size of that shine on is going to be 12 1/4 by 15 1/4. C. Main, you may have answered this before. Do you use the railroading technique when you have stitched? I've cross-stitched for years but have never done so with good results. Just wondering if the extra time makes a significant difference. So the only time I railroad is with white, which is what I told, or what I said when I answered that question, because I may have done it a few other times. Sometimes it's probably the day, but if I just feel like my stitches aren't laying very nicely, I will do the railroading, but I don't do it very often. And if I do, I will do it with white. I know I did do a little bit of that with the brand new Mystery Sal with Fat Quarter Shop. Letters to Santa, I was doing a lot of the white, and for whatever reason, I didn't think some of my stitches were super great, so I was taking the time to do a little railroading. Nana's Legacy, do you have a craft room tour that shows how you organize all of your crafting supplies? No, not yet. I know I've been meaning to do it for I've been in this room, I switched rooms in my house for about a year, but honestly, it's taken me a very long time to get things somewhat where I wanted them. For a while, I mean, I had to wait on some furniture because just delays in the world and whatnot. And then literally I have never fully got everything moved. I think I almost have everything now. So it just requires a big cleanup and video. So yes, and my goal is to have it done by the end of the summer. Keep on me, keep asking. And I will do my very best to do that. Let's see, CZ, I have never pieced a quilt top before. Where do you suggest an absolute beginner begins? Are there websites for brand new newbies, or would it be better to find a quilt class in your town? I think if you have a local quilt shop, that would be amazing, but my suggestion is kind of the same as above. I would follow Fat Quarter Shop. I would watch all of their beginner quilter videos. Kimberly breaks it down for everything. And then you can kind of find your footing from there and what you like to do. There's no rules. Very much like in card making, you do not have to do it exactly that way that she does it. I don't do everything exactly the way she does, but she does give a lot of very good tips and tricks, and really breaks it down into manageable little bites. So I would watch some of those videos. And then if you love that, watch her quilting lives that are every Friday at 9 a.m. Central, or watch the replay. I have card making lives at that same time. So if you're watching card making, please come hang out with me, but I do always watch the replays later on. Let me see. I think that might be it. That is it this week. Yay! Okay. A couple notes that I meant to say at the beginning that I forgot. I did my first Stitch With Me this week, a live, where I just stitched for, I don't know, was it about an hour and a half, you guys? Thank you for hanging out with me, by the way. I was super nervous to do one because I know when you get the notification I'm going live, I know a couple people were maybe disappointed it wasn't another card making live, but I said I would, and it was really fun. Thank you for the chat. That was a really good time, and hopefully you guys found it helpful. And then my pillow tutorial also went up this morning or this afternoon. I can't remember exactly when I made it live. I thought it was scheduled and then I realized it wasn't, so I pushed it live. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. Definitely let me know if that's something that you would like to see more of in the future. All right, let me make that small. I am going to go over my FFOs. I know that this isn't going to be a brand new thing because I showed you this several weeks ago. I finished the Primrose Cottage Land That I Love. Well, just in time for Independence Day, I did finish Into Little Pillows, United We Stand, and Established 1776. So I have all three of these finished. These are super quick stitches, so cute, and I love them. I love them as decor for the 4th of July. I did just leave them open at the bottom and do a little whip stitch to stitch them shut after I stuff them, and I use them in my little Ray-Dun truck that I shared in that Flosstube video a few weeks ago. So that is my only cross stitch fully finished are these Primrose Cottage pillows. Let me set those here so I can take those back out to the other room. And then my other full finish, I shared this I think in my first Flosstube video. I was sewing the little flags. This is a pattern from Etsy. I will link it down below. Now this is a wall hanging, and I only did, so this has, it's a 4x3. I only did a 3x3 for the center of a pillow. Now I made a joke on Instagram earlier today and said, because I shared just finishing this, because I had a lot of it sewn. I just had to do like the final row and then put it all together and quilt it and put a pillow together, which didn't take any time. But when I originally planned this, because it was so long ago, I think I forgot what I was planning. Was I planning on buying a pillow form that was small? I don't know, because the smallest pillow forms I have are 16, and I thought that was going to be too much border. I would have done another row of flags. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what I was planning when I did this, when I cut everything. So I left it as is. Here's my finished pillow, and it ended up being a 14-inch pillow, so I just made my own pillow form. So if you watched my pillow form video, you can make them for a bigger pillow as well, which this is so cute with my beachy quilt that I shared a while back. Maybe that was in my first Flosstube too. I can't remember which one, but I will be sharing some photos on Instagram a little bit later of the two together. I love it. It's a lot of the same fabric. In fact, I have a lot of this left, and I'm going to show you 2 free pillow quilt patterns that I downloaded. I'm not going to get them done this year. I scheduled them to do for next year, but I love it. Oh, and then this is on the back, which I believe this is the same fabric that's on the back of my quilt. It's my favorite. Hidden zipper. Yes, I had to use a gray zipper. I normally would not have. I thought I had a long white zipper. I did not. I only had a short white one. So it's hidden. It does not matter. So this is my pillow, and I love it. I think it's really, really pretty. I quilted it myself. It literally took, I know how long it took because I was racing to get it done so I could go pick up my grocery order from Walmart. It took like 30 minutes, I think, to quilt, if that. I literally drew lines with a friction pen that erases with heat, and I quilted them on my Janome machine, and then I took it to the iron and erased the friction lines away. I use my ruler to draw the lines, but so lots of pillow finishes this week, quilting and cross stitch. All right, shall we talk about some WIPs? I did not get as, like I said at the beginning, I didn't get near as much cross stitch done this week as I would have liked, but it was just a busy week and that's totally fine. If you did the stitch with me, this is the only thing, all I got done. This may have to be a finish for next year. I do want to finish it this year, but like a full finish, it may, because I wanted to make this a pillow for Patriotic. We may still try to finish it this July. I'm leaving my July decorations up till the end of July, and then August I'll switch them out. This is the Heartfelt Stitch Along from Fat Quarter Shop. This is a free pattern, and I did mention this in the Stitch With Me, but they have a little mini pattern that's just like 4 of the blocks, so you could make one of those little mini pillows to maybe match the Primrose Cottage. And here is where I'm at. So I got a little bit done here. We finished this half in the Stitch With Me. It stitches fast. I just have been distracted, I guess. So that is the Heartfelt Stitch Along. Not a lot. The Shine On, which I was just talking about, is from this book, and I know so many of you have mentioned that you've picked this up, so I'm really excited about that. In fact, let's just stick our book back in here. I should also say, I just realized this, I only took questions from my most recent video. I think I've got some from other videos. I will try to gather those up for next week. So here is where I'm at. I got a little bit more done, some of the navy there on that block. I absolutely adore this. This is 25 count Cloud, I believe, Lugana, stitching 2/2. And I do link the fabric in the description, as well as the thread pack if you want to do it just like this. I love this project so much. Love, love, love. And I'm going to keep stitching on that as I can until I'm finished. All right. Let me get myself organized. All right. Halloween rules. Okay. I did make a little, I made some good progress on Halloween rules. Wow. I think I have a mess in here. I do. I have multiple needles. Just a moment. I had loaded up needles with thread. It's all the same color, so I could literally just run it under and then start again. So Halloween rules, remember, is going to be like this. These are the little charts from Lizzie Kate. You guys were asking me about, or I had that question. You can get these from 123 Stitch. They bought the rights. Lizzie Kate retired, I believe. And then 123 Stitch bought the rights to her patterns. And so it's a whole set. You have to buy multiple of these. And then to get the top of the chart, you can go to lizziekate.com and download the chart here, and it's going to show you how to put all of the little charts together. And then on the back has the chart for the topper, and this is a free download. I'm stitching mine on 25 count Mushroom Lugana. Oh, I got a lot of needles in here. Oh well. So you might remember last week I was talking about this and that my Wear a Costume was not centered and I was super frustrated, and I had started the border for Eat Candy. What I opted to do was to not rip out anything in Wear a Costume, other than I had ripped out just a little here because I had messed up, and then I just stopped. I just left it. I decided I don't want to rip anything out. I want to see what Eat Candy is going to look like, and then I will make a decision. And a lot of you gave me some good suggestions, and I'm going to tell you it's all going to get ripped out. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's going to bother me. And because this is going to live in my house, that's what I'm going to do. You can definitely do whatever you want to do here. So the charts, the individual charts, need to be about 2 blocks away. That's what I call them. That might not be the technical term, but 2 stitches. So it's going to be more threads than that from this side and from this side. And that is what I had done wrong. So this block is completely correct. And then I think I have a couple things I need to finish here, but whatever. This is mostly done. When I got to this point, I decided, because the dog was shifted this way, I wanted to, and I didn't like the color that I had stitched the dog. By the way, that was a mess. I tried stitching 2 other different colors, and all of them were so close to the fabric that they just don't show up. So this is actually, and I wanted to tell you guys what I ended up choosing in case you run into the same thing. So the called for color, what was 738? Let me make sure. Was DMC 738. And I feel like that's too close to the Mushroom Lugana. What I chose was DMC 3866, which is kind of a cream. I didn't really want to do white because we have our ghost over here on the other side. And at first I was afraid it was going to be too much, but I like it. You can see the dog. I mean, I still have some to do on him, but I really wanted to do that color first to make sure I liked it, and I do. I think it shows up nice. I think the color is enough different than white, and I'm going to be happy with it. So I shifted him over. He's where he's supposed to be. I'm going to tell you why. I could just shift the words over, but see that the jack-o'-lantern is too close. I can't decide if I just want to try to shift it over closer to the ghost and leave the ghost, or if I'll unpick all of it and move it over. But it's only one away, so it doesn't line up with this over here. I know me. That's going to bother me forever. So I probably will end up restitching all of it. It doesn't take that long. And now that I have this figured out, it shouldn't be a problem again. Who knows? But this is out of timeout. I know I mentioned last week I had to put it in timeout because I was mad, but I love it. I love it. I think it's going to be awesome. And I want to keep stitching on it because I'd love to have this done for Halloween. Who knows though? I have so many projects. We're going to give it our best try. But if you want, I will put the color I switched to down in the description box below. It's 3866. And I literally just went through floss I had to try to make something work. And this was the 3rd try after I ripped everything out. So that's Halloween rules. So those are the only WIPs I worked on that were previous starts this week. I know I have other WIPs and I will share those as we get to it. But I want to first talk about the new SAL that I'm doing with that quarter shop. It's the Hands-On Design Season 2, A Year of Christmas. I know I mentioned it last week. All my supplies have come in the meantime. So it is this. And somebody had asked about this in the comments as well. If you get all of them, you do. You get all of the calendars, all of the patterns when you purchase this. So you're going to get 12. You can do them individually, or you can do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to stitch them. I'm going to stitch this free border you can get from Hands-On Design. I have this chart linked for the download in the description box. And I am stitching on, where do you suppose I put that? I thought it was right here. It is. I'm stitching on the Lori Holt 25 count Prim Lugana vintage cloth. This is what it is. I'll show you. I started this in the Stitch With Me this week. I literally did not get much done. I just started in this little corner, but I will have this all done before I talk to you guys next week. Plus I should have July started because it shouldn't take long. I'm going to be stitching these monthly along with that quarter shop. I would love if you guys want to stitch along, I would love it. I think I've heard from a couple who are going to be doing this as well. I'm so excited. I will tell you there are called for colors, and there's a called for thread pack you can buy from Fat Quarter Shop, and I'll link it, and I will link the one I'm using. I am using Kimberly's colors. They just are a little bit brighter, I think. Just a little more my jam. I tend to like a lot of the same colors, not all the same colors as Kimberly, but this just felt a little bit more me. And so I did buy this thread pack, and it comes with an awesome chart from Fat Quarter Shop where they tell you what they've switched out. So handy. They think of everything. I just think they do such a lovely job. So if you want to stitch along, it's a year-long project, all of the charts. So let me actually tell you what size those charts are. Let's get the pattern back out. So each chart is going to be fairly, let's see, each monthly marker is 49 by 49 stitches. That's it. I think that that's super doable, you guys. Probably just a couple evenings a week and you'd have it. Once, if you're going to do the whole piece, or if you want to do little individuals that you can maybe make into little mini pillows and put them in a dough bowl each, you know, each month or whatever, that would be super cute. But if you're going to join along, will you please drop me a comment down below? I would love to know if you're going to stitch along with that Sal. And then it's not starting yet, but I mentioned it earlier because it was asked in the comments. So I am going to bring it up again. The Mystery Boo Crew Stitch Along starts on Tuesday, July 5th. You can bet that on July 5th, I'm going to download this and I'm going to stitch it up because it's going to just be this little sneaky peek right here. I think it's only 4 weeks if I'm not mistaken. I did not open up my little chart. Now, I want to talk about the differences that I'm doing in case you guys missed it, or if you want to get your stuff so you can get started. They stitched the model on a Peaceful Purple 14 count Aida. I am choosing this is a Spooky Hollow Aida. I think I got 16 count, but I noticed that the 14 count is back in stock at Fat Quarter Shop. So I will link it down in the description below as well. I'm not a purple decorator for Halloween, at least not that much. I'm a gray, black, orangey kind of girl. And so I chose to do gray. Kimberly had said she was going to do this, and I was like, yep, that's totally my jam. I did not buy the thread pack. I just looked at the chart, picked my colors, and she said to buy an extra orange, I think. It's not called orange, I'll tell you. Instead of the purple colors. The purples are beautiful. They're just, I know me, and I won't be happy with a purple fabric. The purple stitching may have been okay on the gray, so I bought extra Colonial Copper. I knew it wasn't called orange, but here are the colors. Some of them I had already left over, so it's on a floss drop, but so I think this will be a super easy, quick stitch. I am going to make mine into a little pillow because you guys know I like my little pillows to stick in a bowl for Halloween. I love decorating for Halloween, so I'm really excited about that. It starts Tuesday. So if you're going to do that, definitely drop me a note down below. That reminds me too about mystery stitch alongs. Someone mentioned that they're afraid to do a mystery stitch along because they may not like the design. And I'm going to talk about that next because I'm going to talk about Jolly July. And I have started, I've only done one day, Fridays. Obviously I'll do more tonight. Start my next project. I do have my calendar, which I will show you again. You can download these calendars from Fat Quarter Shop. So it's kind of my tentative plan. I worked on the 1st, I worked on my letters to Santa. Today I'm going to start the stitching with the Housewives Jingle Bell Cafe. And then those are what I'm going to work on each day. What I get done, I get done. I fully plan to finish Letters to Santa. Letters to Santa and the Have a Cup of Cheer will probably for sure get done. The Jingle Bell Cafe may get done this month as well. The Rudolph's Sampler and Lizzie Kate Rules probably won't. I've only picked 5 projects for Christmas in July. And whatever I don't get finished, then I can work on as we get to the Christmas season. So that's kind of my plan, because I have other things I want to stitch on too. And I tried to give myself 2 free days here in the middle of the week. I can either work on these my Christmas projects, or I can go ahead and work on Shine On or the Boo Crew or whatever the case may be, the hands-on design, anything like that. So give yourself some grace and just work on what you want. This is my tentative plan. If things don't work out, that's okay. But it gives me a really, really good start to Christmas. So hopefully by the time Christmas rolls around, I have some new Christmas finishes. So with that being said, let's talk about our Christmas in July. Do I not have one of my projects? Nope. Hold on 1 second. All right. Let's talk about letters to Santa first. So, I just mentioned the question I got was, what if you don't like, because it's a mystery, what if you don't like it? First of all, I have not found that there's anything that I haven't liked. Don't be afraid to change colors. And because we don't know what it's going to look like, this is a paid for PDF. So here is what the first release does look like. You can always start anytime, or you can wait till all of this has been released and start in August if you want to. I did start stitching this, and I'm going to tell you what I chose to do, because I'll finish stitching my portion of it. Should be this weekend, I'm thinking, or at least this long weekend. I'm going to tell you my plan, and maybe it's something that will interest you guys. So I don't know. Can you? Yeah. The border is a lot of white and then blue, green, and red. For Christmas, you guys may have seen some of my Christmas decorations before, and I am a red and white girl. I like red and white for Christmas. I'm not sure how I feel about the blue and the green and the border. I know the name of the chart is Letters to Santa, so it's probably kind of got a postcard feel to it. That's my guess. So here's what I'm doing. What I opted, here's my start. I didn't have a ton of time Friday, so I was pretty happy. This was about 2 hours, and that's only, I think it wasn't quite 2 hours. I think I can get it stitched a little bit quicker now that I have a nice start to it. But you'll notice I've only done white and red. I did leave the space for the blue and the green because I thought I like to kind of do one color at a time. I went ahead, I started up here in the upper corner with my red, and then I just did the white, and it's super easy to stitch because the pattern repeats. I think, I'm not for sure, I'm going to wait till at least the next part of the chart and maybe the full chart before I make this decision. I'm going to do all the white and the red around here, and I'm going to leave it without anything, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do red and white. I think I'm going to just go in and fill red in everywhere that I haven't. That's what I think. I kind of want to see a little bit more of the chart before I make that for sure. But I know me, and I think that I'm going to like red and white better. So we shall see. So if that is something that interests you, don't be afraid to make that decision either, or hold off. I love the border, and so I'm just going to do, the as charted red and white all the way around, leaving that space, because going in and filling in a little bit of red later will be nothing. I can wait till the end if I wanted to. So I am using all the called for colors. I'm using 14 count chalkboard Ada. Oh, there's a little rubber band in here. I guess I took all my floss out. I bought the floss pack from Fat Quarter Shop, and I fully realize I'm sure I'll use the colors at some point. Oh, I have such a mess. This doesn't even look nice. I don't even know what happened to me, you guys. My kitting for Jolly July has not been super good. So here are the colors. They're really pretty. I'm just going to hold off. I know that Kimberly said the design is not this. There's a little postcard that comes with either the DMC or the Fancy Floss pack. So, I don't know. I'm just going to stitch the red and white portions right now, and then if I decide later I want to add in the green and the blue, I will. Or if I'm just going to do all red and white. Probably going to be all red and white. Just if I were to guess. Me. So that is my first project. And then what I'm starting tonight is the Jingle Bell Cafe by Stitching with the Housewives. I know I showed you this a long time ago. I bought it, the chart a long time ago. This will be my first Stitching with the Housewives pattern. I love this. I already think I know how I'm going to finish it. It's not going to be a pillow. I'm really excited, but I'm not going to say anything yet in case that doesn't work out. But I am going to be stitching it because I have it 14 count chalkboard Aida. I already did cut it down. I haven't zigzagged the edges yet, but I did cut it down. And I'm using the called for colors, which are beautiful. I think this will be pretty easy to stitch as well. So definitely let me know. Let me know in the comments what you guys are stitching. Or if you're doing Christmas in July or Jolly July or not. And I know I've shown these before, but I am going to briefly go through all of what I'm stitching. So I'm also going to stitch Little House Needleworks, which I've never stitched anything from them either. Rudolph's Sampler. I love that. And I'm stitching on 32 count Lugana. And I'm also going to stitch my next project. I'm going to show you on that. I bought all the floss. I just love that little sampler. I think it's so cute. And I think this will be easy to stitch too. So that is 30, and that's a 32 count Lugana that I chose to do for that. I think it'll be awesome. And so then I'm also using that same fabric, and I've heard from a couple of you who are going to be stitching this. The Cherry Hill Stitchery Have a Cup of Cheer. I love this. This will get done. This is so easy. So yeah, I'm excited about this one as well. I think I'll be making that a little sign for my basement for the hot chocolate bar. So that is 3 and 4. And then the 5th, already prepped. I can hardly wait. This is my Sunday start. Is Christmas Rules by Lizzie Kate. So I know I showed you Halloween rules. My friend Cassie was so sweet to share her charts with me. And so I've downloaded this. I've prepped my fabric. This is also going to be on 25 count Mushroom Lugana. You can see I have it all prepped, zigzagged. It's been ready to go for a while. It's been ready longer than I have, I suppose. And this is what it will look like in color. And these are all available, at least as far as I know, on 123 Stitch. And I have all the colors. I have a ring and none of my colors on it. Wow, you guys. I need to get this ready on Sunday. But I'm excited to have a start for that for you guys next week. Very, very excited. So those are my 5 Jolly July projects. And as I said, please tell me what you guys are doing down below. I would love to know, because I'm sure I will do more Christmas stitching as we get closer to the season. Something I noticed a lot of people commented on last week in my question for the giveaways was that they like to stitch the season that they're in. I do too. Because I could keep doing Patriotic. You're gonna any project, quilting, cross stitch, whatever. But I'm starting to slowly transition. I think probably what helps me is that for my job for card making, our fall and Halloween is starting to show up. And so fall, Halloween, Christmas, pardon me. And so it's helping get me in that mindset because I've started working on those projects already. But didn't stop me. Didn't stop me at all, you guys, from more Patriotic downloads and wish lists. All right, let me see what's next on my schedule. Haul is next on my schedule. My haul is super tiny this week. I did not buy that much. So I got my hands on design stuff, which I kind of showed you when I showed you that. I did buy a Nantucket Summer Charm Pack. This is Bonnie and Camille fabric. So I showed you the little mini bags. I'm hoping I get one of those sewn up here pretty soon. So I bought that to do that. I hardly ever buy charm packs, but they're so tiny and cute. So I did buy this. I have the fabric in my cart. I had a couple things I needed to add to my shopping cart, so I haven't pushed it through. So I don't have all of my swoon quilt fabric that I said I'd have it this week. I ended up buying a couple fabrics that I think are going to work with some things I have. And so I don't have that ready, so I'll show it next week. But I did buy a couple of patterns. So I was watching Primrose Cottage Stitches live stream this week, and Lindsay showed Katie's pattern for this Home Tweet Home. And I have to say that I have just skipped past this most of the time. I don't know why. Not even thinking. But she stitched these birdhouses in Patriotic colors. So this is the Patriotic thing, stitching in the season. She stitched this little stripe house in red and white, and I was sold. So I'm going to stitch this Patriotic and just add to my little Patriotic pillow collection because I thought it was too cute. So this is Home Tweet Home by Primrose Cottage Stitches. So that is a little piece of my haul. Then I want to make some wall art for over here on my wall. I don't have a ton of wall space available because I have a lot of shelving in here, but I do have some, and I've not put anything up. I need to figure out something for my needle minders and for my enamel pins, but then I wanted to have some sort of wall art that I made, and I have loved this pattern, and I thought I had it, but I didn't. So I did get the Thimble Blossoms Made with Love. And what I think I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to make it mini quilt. I am going to quilt it, but I'm going to make it big enough that I can wrap it around a canvas and staple it in place. If you follow me for card making, you saw I made a butterfly canvas that also is going to go on the wall or up on the shelf. I haven't decided because I do have a display up high. So I do have some decor, but I just have this open wall and I want to do something. And I thought this would be really cute wrapped around a canvas. I follow a quilter in a long armor, and she actually made some, I don't know how she did it. I feel like it wasn't pieced like this, but she made some fabric things and she made them into canvases, and I loved it. It's, I can't remember. I put it down in the show notes when I look it up here in a little bit, but I loved the idea of putting it on a canvas. So I'm going to sew this sewing machine because I think it's so cute. So that's my haul. Couple of free things. So I said after I finished my Patriotic pillow, I was like, oh, I need to make a whole basket of Patriotic pillows. Wouldn't that be a cute display next year? This one has been on my wish list, but I finally printed it out. This is the Stripes and One Star Pillow. Moda Fabrics put this out. It's a finished, well, I feel like this size was somewhere. Maybe it says 12 by 24 pillow form will fit in here, or you can make your own, whatever. So I like the long skinny. I'm going to do that, and I have lots of leftover fabric, so it will coordinate. And then I just did a little search, and I found this I Heart America. It's also a free pattern, and I will put both of the links to these if you guys are interested at all. And I think this would be cute too. Mine's going to obviously be beachy. Both of mine are going to be that beachy feel because I think it looks super cute. So I can add to my Patriotic quilted pillows for next year. So just a couple of little freebies. All right. I am going to flip my camera around this week. I know I haven't done that in a few weeks to show you all of my quilting, and then I will be back. Okay, it's been a little bit since I've talked about motive blockheads, and I'd hoped I had a little bit more done, but I did. I have several cut that will get sewn probably tomorrow, but I did do block number 6. Let me move that out of the way. So, oops. So this is block number 6. I love it. I kind of love the pattern going like that. And this is Spinning into Spring. That is the pattern that I just did, and I can just show as well, because I did kind of get myself completely organized. I took a little time. So I'm not doing, let's see, I'm doing 7, 8, 9, and then I'm doing a bonus block for several. I'm kind of following basically what Fig Tree is doing for the most part, but they did come out with their setting instructions, which are free. Here we go. So I have been figuring out what I want to do here. This is the setting I'm going to do for all of this, and I will link to Joanna's post for that in case you're interested in as well. But I should have more blocks to show next week, but this was my new one this week. So I've got 6 blocks done, and I'll just kind of briefly show again. Aren't they pretty? This is going to be my backing fabric. I've had it for years. So it's what inspired all of my blocks. But I'm using a random assortment of blocks from Fig Tree, or fabrics, pardon me, from Fig Tree. Let's see. And then there's that first one. I love it. I think this little red check fabric is what I'm going to use for this. I think that's going to tie it together. I think this with this backing is going to be super pretty, and then I'll figure out a binding. But I thought the setting is going to be a little bit of work, which is going to bring us to the other free pattern from Riley Blake, because I chose their setting, and it is a little bit of work, but oh my goodness, I think it makes for a stunning quilt. So I'm excited. So again, this was my new block for that, and this literally so quick. A lot of my blocks, a couple, well, at least one of the ones I have cut out actually doesn't have this backing, but most of them have this little kind of creamy white with the little red polka dot. So that is my Moda Blockheads 4. Then I do have all of my blocks finished for Riley Blake, and I am going to show you the 2 that I finished. Hold up. I have them all laid out in order of how they go. Okay, so yes. First, I had 2 blocks left to finish. One was double cross. I will tell you, I did not like this block. I think it turned out okay, but I didn't like sewing it. So here's my finished block, which I say I didn't like sewing it, but I actually super love my block. Whatever. It happens. I think it's because I forgot to label all the pieces, and I cut them several weeks before I sewed it, which was probably a mistake because I forgot to label them. If I had labeled it, it would have been fine, but it was such a pain figuring it out because they were all different sizes. But so now that I'm a little bit away from this, because this was sewn before last week, I can tell you that I love it. But if I had talked to you about this last week, I would have told you I did not love it. And then the other block I wanted to show is this one, but I wanted to talk about it. And of course, my finishing instructions are underneath everything. So this is the finishing. And I'm using their finishing, which has all of these great little Irish chain, which I've never done an Irish chain, and that's what I'm working on. But there were only enough blocks. You needed to add one extra. And so here's what I did. I often put a block on the back of my quilt, and I thought this is a ton of work for the front of my quilt, and I have one more block to do. And I've made this block before. I've made it for the back of a quilt I gave as a gift. And so what I ended up doing was I cut all my fabric, and I thought it would be really fun to just sew my label into the front of my quilt this time. Make it part of the design. So it's this block, it's a pretty little heart, is going to go right here, and it has my label in it. So my label isn't going to be on the back of the quilt, it's going to be on the front of the quilt for this one. And I actually really, really love it. This block is so easy to sew. It's a really cute block. And this was free. This is part of their 2021 block challenge. And you could mix and match blocks from either one. All of my blocks are done. They're actually all laid out in the order that they go on this. And I'm going to show you. So here I spent a ton of time last weekend. You can see I have already done a lot of the prep work. I have to sew a lot of the little 4 patches together. I've got these strips all done. Here's all the ones I've already sewn. And then look here. I have here are those Irish chain blocks. So this is actually row 1. I have row 1 laid out and row 2 laid out. And I just need to sew them together. But these are beautiful. They come together so nice. The instructions are so easy. This is a fantastic kind of quilt layout. If you have blocks this size, that would be amazing. So this is a 10.5 or a 10-inch finished, but a 10.5 unfinished block. If you have never done an Irish chain like I haven't, or even if you just love it, I love the look. So it's going to have this awesome little red and white chain going throughout my whole quilt. Isn't it pretty? I think it's going to look amazing. I'm excited to kind of get this one finished up. So that is what I have worked on. This was a lot of work. Cutting all of these strips, cutting all these pieces, and starting to sew it all together. I think that goes there. But we're getting it done. And I'm just going to lay everything back out here on my design boards so that I can sit down. Honestly, this is just sitting down and sewing these together. They sew together so good. And then I have a little extra that I just kept here just in case, you know, in case I make a mistake, I like to keep it. And then I do think this is going to be my binding. This is a stripe, and then this is my backing. Really excited to get this one finished. I already have 2 quilts at the quilter, so I'm not in a super big rush. But this I want to have done so that as soon as one of my other quilts comes back, I can go ahead and send this one off. So this is the Riley Blake, and then I'm working on my blockheads. I'm really, really hoping I get caught up on that. And then the Heartfelt Charity, I have some fabric cut, but no blocks sewn, so next week. Okay, I do have some happy mail from you guys, and I do a happy mail segment for card making that I gotta get myself organized. But so the cards, because everyone made a handmade card, will be in that segment. I'll probably share everything there as well. But these are all stitching or quilting related, and I wanted to share these in Flosstube for those of you who do not follow. So the first up is from Joyous in Christ. She made me this beautiful card. Thank you so much. And she sent me this sign that says Fabric Addict. How amazing is this? So Ethan actually went with me to the post office to get this the day that I ran in to get my mail, and I didn't expect for there to be a huge package. I had to go up to the desk to get it, and when I brought it out to the car, he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "I don't know." Opened it up, and beautiful. I love this. I cannot wait to display this in my office. Thank you so much, Joyous in Christ. This is absolutely beautiful. I haven't decided if I want to hang it on the wall, like next to the canvas I'm going to make, or if I'm going to put it up on my shelf. But when I get my studio tour filmed, remind me, keep on me, friends, to get that done. This will be displayed. So thank you. I absolutely adore it. Thank you. Thank you. And then my friend Melissa, she sent me this card here, and Melissa mailed the Primrose Cottage Be Happy chart. And what's funny is this is the only chart, bee chart from Primrose I don't have. So I am going to stitch this up really quick. This should not take very long at all. And then I will share this in an upcoming giveaway. I'll pass it along to one of you guys so you can stitch it up as well. Thank you, Melissa. So beautiful. I absolutely love it. And thank you for sharing your chart with me. And then my friend Jan, she sent me this card as well. And she passed along a couple of fantastic charts. So the Britter Cup Designs, which I've never heard of, but look at this chart. How cute. Look at that little beehive hanging from the branch. This is going to be an upcoming giveaway. I so appreciate her being so generous to share some charts for giveaways. Thank you. That is so lovely. And then she also sent Primrose Cottage. You guys know how much I love Primrose Cottage. Pumpkin Patch. I actually don't have this one either, and I feel like I should stitch this before I pass it on. I'm hoping to maybe hurry and get a start on this, get it stitched up, and then I will be offering this in a future giveaway as well. But I just love fall, and I think I should definitely stitch this before I pass it on. Thank you, Jan, and thank you to everyone. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Joyous in Christ, for sharing some of that happy mail with me. I absolutely love it, and thank you. It made my day. Okay, everybody, I am going to go ahead and announce my giveaway winners. I'm not going to do giveaways this week. I don't think I'm probably going to do it every week, but when I have several things to give away, I think I will do that all at once. And the winner of the Liberty box from Fat Quarter Shop, I know I showed what was in this last week. This one's sealed. I have not even opened it. So this is brand new. All the stuff should be in there. The winner of this is Patricia Cotronea, Cotronea. If you are Patricia, please make sure you email me. The email is in the description below, and I will get this mailed off to you. It is amazing. I absolutely love it. Then from my Liberty box, I'm not keeping the fabric, and so I'm giving away the Fat Quarter bundle, and this is killylovesamis, KILLYLOVESAMIS. If that is you, please email me at my email in the description. And then the letters to Santa. So if you want to stitch along, email me right away, please, so that I can get this sent off to you. It's the Fancy Floss Weeks Dye Work thread pack, a package of 14 count chalkboard Ada, and there's plenty. So you can do another project on this too if you want. Just trim it down. And then I will send you a gift certificate to purchase the pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. That is Missy Lucas. So Missy, please email me. And then the quicker you email me, the quicker I get it mailed out. I would like to get those mailed immediately. The fabric in the Liberty box, I will be mailing in a box. The fabric can probably go in a bubble the cross stitch can go in a bubble mailer, but I do box pickups, USPS pickups from my house. So every day. So as soon as I get your information, I will send those out. The last thing I did want to mention, I know that I said that I would have a stitch along with me and I would announce it this week. I have picked my pattern. I am going to wait till next week to announce that because I want to have my Facebook group set up and I did not get that done this week. And I also want to, I have not picked the fabric I want to use or gathered up my supplies, and I would like to announce that all at once. So I will for sure announce that next week. I had several requests that said, can we please pick something smaller? So for this first stitch along, if it all goes well and everyone loves it, maybe we'll pick something bigger going forward. But I like the idea too of maybe picking something on the smaller size. It's not going to be a little tiny square, but it's not going to be a huge chart either. And maybe that'll make it doable where more people can finish it. I will tell you, I picked a fall themed chart from one of my favorite designers. It was something I already had in my stash and that I wanted to stitch. You definitely don't have to stitch it if you don't want to. And I'm excited about it. So please stay tuned and I will for sure share all of that next week, as well as I will share my swoon fabric since I did not have it all ready. I should have it all in hand and cut and hopefully maybe even a block sewn to share with you next week if you're doing this swoon along. And let's see. Oh, yes, I have one more note. So as I organized my new studio and I put my fabric on my shelves, I know I've shown you my fabric shelves before, I also cleaned out my fabric. I had tons and tons, more than what I ended up wanting to keep. So I kind of pared it down and I made up boxes, mostly by designer. Some are by theme, and I'm going to be doing a fabric sale. I believe that's going to be on July 9th on my blog. So it might be before I see you guys next, actually. So definitely check that out. I will post on my community page here on YouTube. If you're interested in maybe picking up a mystery box of fabric, definitely check it out. I just need to get those moved on to a home. You don't even have to be a quilter. If you need fabric for finishing cross stitch or whatever, check it out. I'm going to be filling flat rate boxes with fabric. I will have a photo, but I'm not going to photograph each individual fabrics. So there, I'll show you like a group photo of the fabric and kind of an overview, but I'm also not going to be, measuring each piece. Most of it's going to be fat quarters or yardage. I think there might be maybe a layer cake or two, maybe a jelly roll or jelly roll strips, but I'm not going to be measuring it all out. It is kind of a mystery. Like I said, I will show you a photo of what you're going to get in the box, but other than that, I'm not going to list it out. It's going to be at a discounted price. I really want it to just find a home where the fabric will be used, because clearly I have enough. You've seen my shelves. I have enough. Okay, you guys, I think that's it this week. I hope everyone in the US has a fantastic 4th of July. If you're celebrating, stay tuned. I will share the pattern. I actually have it right here for the stitch along with me, but I really do want to figure out my fabric and have that organized better before I share with you next week. But that should still give us plenty of time to have it all ready to go by August 1st. I'm going to show you fabric, pattern, and floss, and I'll have it organized by weeks, and I'll tell you what part of the pattern we're going to stitch, because it's going to just be an August stitch for us. Some of you may have it done in a week. I don't know. But I'm excited to get started, and I will have my Facebook group for everybody set up for next week as well. But other than that, I hope you get some quilting, stitching, card making, or whatever hobby time in and this coming week. And definitely let me know what you're going to be stitching for Christmas in July if you're going to be participating. And I will see you guys all next week. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you later. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new Flosstube stitching or quilting video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.